Recording in progress.
What up, y'all? What's good, fam? I'm your boy Trey Fraser. I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me today. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to
Oh,
another
I'm here now. My
episode.
fault. My fault.
Okay, I was waiting for you. I was I was like, let me just go ahead and get right into it. But there you go, there you go. Welcome everybody. This is another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk podcast. Shout out to everybody that's checking us out live on our social media platforms. We're live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook right now. Make sure y'all continue to follow us on those platforms. Also, you can follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Bro, what's good, man? How's
What's
the week
good,
been?
man?
Rough. It's just rough, man.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't going. Ain't nothing to sugarcoat. It's been a rough couple of days starting the week, but it is what it is. We gonna keep on grinding.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, man. Happy to be alive, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Happy to
yeah,
happy to come home. Happy to come home with the kids and and the wife and everything. So all's well. All health is good in the house, and we just gonna keep pushing. We just gonna keep pushing. Just a couple things I wanna get out the way before we proceed here. We had another mass shooting in the nation this afternoon. Want to send rest in peace, shout outs, and condolences to the families of 14 lost lives, 14 children, unfortunately.
man.
A teacher and a grandmother all passed away in this, this deadly, massacre. Shout out to them, rest in peace to everyone. And it's rough, man. We just had the Buffalo thing, and now we got this thing. So, shout out to those families,
Yeah,
and rest in peace to those that lost their lives.
for sure. Thoughts and prayers to everybody involved, man. Yeah, that's look, man. Like we kind of talked about pre-show, man. I don't want it's already been enough negativity going on, man. We're gonna try to shake that best way we can, and like I said, thoughts and prayers to everybody involved, man. And that's not to trivialize nothing that's going on. Don't get it twisted, but I mean, how much negative energy can a nigga take, man?
Hey, that's all right, man, because we got some positivity in the room right now. We got a special guest right
That's a
here on
lot
the
of fucking
Barbershop
pressure.
Sports Talk podcast. Oh man. So you might have seen her in these chat rooms, in some of these X Squad radio shows. You've seen her in the chat room and all that good stuff. She is Tiffney Evans, aka Tiffney Sports and Heels. Tiffany, thank you for joining us. We appreciate
Thanks
you.
for inviting me, guys. I feel like I'm in the barbershop crashing. Like, I hope you don't mind all this estrogen about to pour in there. But
Nah. We appreciate that in the barbershop.
We
We
need all the
appreciate it.
positivity we can get right now.
I know that's right. We all could use that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So, let's start right here. So you got the website, sportsandheels.com. Is that right?
Yeah, sportsandheels.com. That's just where I put my blog post. My Instagram and my TikTok is really where you should follow me. My Instagram is sports underscore the letter N as in Nancy underscore heels. It has heels. She's a girl, her, so she likes to wear her heels. She loves sports,
Mhm.
but she
Mhm.
still likes to be that feminine girl. So it's HEEL, and you can find me on TikTok under the same in the pseudonym, and as well as on Twitter.
Okay. Now you also been doing like travel shows online,
Yeah.
and like I checked you out last night doing a show in regards to all these places to travel and things like that. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Travelmatic, which is he actually was a stew. And me and him talk a lot because we work in the same field. So we talk about remote working. We both work in the IT field, technology, in software development, particularly. Both of us have similar roles. I'm a project manager / Scrum Master. He does Scrum Master, business analyst, and product owner work. So we talk about some of the similarities we come across. You need an ally who kind of looks like you. Him being a Black man, we need to have someone in the same. This is a very, Caucasian dominated, male dominated field. So you need to have somebody who you can kind of bounce ideas off and help navigate. And so he's just one of the resources that I would reach out to. And so we travel, both of us travel independently, domestically and internationally. And having been a stew and being a part of different podcasts and talking in chat rooms and stuff, he knew my personality, and so we talked all the time. And so he had a travel channel. He has a travel channel, Travelmatic, on YouTube. Really great content. So make sure you guys check him out. But he wanted to do a live show, and this was during the pandemic. We were talking just to kind of enhance his channel, and he said, I don't really know what topic to kind of talk about. And this was when remote working really hit the fan.
Yeah.
Like, we've been remote working on and off for years, but it really got big during the pandemic, right? So we decided, let's make, he decided he wanted to make remote working and digital nomad and all of the things, that possibilities that surround that, an actual live show. So that's when he asked me to come along. Of course, I was down, because my motto is always trying to encourage people who look like us, brown and Black folk, to find a way to evaluate your career, evaluate your life, and figure out how you can start adding the things that make you happy, start adding the things that bring you joy. And I think COVID gave us an opportunity to kind of figure out some of those other things that we would like to be doing that we can't do, and figure out how we're going to keep doing that post, we're not really post-COVID, but how we can kind of continue to figure out how we can make those things possible for us on an everyday basis. So that's what we talk about. We talk about working remotely. We talk about traveling, how you can incorporate the two. We talk about those who are expats, who've left the United States and are living in other countries. We talk about those who just travel. They might go for a week, or they might go for a month, and they, bounce around to different places. But we just try to talk about how you can pursue your passions, basically, when you're working remote, and, living your life.
Okay, I got a quick question. Well, not a quick question, but I'm not a traveler. Trey is a traveler. That's more his thing. So, my life experience, I just haven't been. What's a good place for a single young man, like, who don't really do a lot of traveling? What would you recommend?
So I would start you off with baby steps. And I would probably say Mexico would be a good start. It's affordable, one, because I don't know your budget. Mexico's close. And depending on where you guys live, it's pretty easy flights to get. They're not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You can stay on a resort, or you can stay in an Airbnb, or you can stay in a hotel. So you pretty much have 3 options of accommodations you can, and you can basically customize your experience based upon your comfort level. And without knowing too much about who you are personally, that would give you, the luxury of a resort, or you can have the more Airbnb and have a little bit more privacy, what you're used to living, being an independent, a single man. Or you can, stay in a hotel, and, you can do Airbnb experiences to kind of get out there. You can be amongst the locals. And that's where I would start you. If not there, then if you want something more, and I try to encourage people to go see Black people around the world. I mean, Black people around the world are so dope. Like, I love Mexico, but there's a lot of Black people in Mexico. So don't get it twisted. It's a lot. A lot of expats live there, but a lot of native Black Mexicans live in Mexico. But if you want to be around Black people, then maybe the Bahamas. But again, that's going to depend on your price range, your comfortability. Bahamas, it's easy to get there. Bahamas is beautiful. Yeah. And it's an experience. So I would try those 2 places. Third would be Jamaica.
Right. That's the way I get Miami. I get Miami and Jamaica. Those are the 2 I get, Miami and Jamaica. My circle been trying to get me to go. Like, you need to go somewhere. You need to go somewhere, and I will, I guess, one day. But Miami and Jamaica is what I've been hearing.
So, and I'm going to caveat that, because that's where I would send you to break you in. But if I was your homegirl, and you told me you was a single man, you ain't hear this. Y'all don't hear this from me, okay? Just act like you're. Act like I'm just talking to Maestro.
Right.
If I was a single man and I was going somewhere for the first time, I would be hitting Colombia. I would be hitting Dominican Republic because you're a single man. You know, it's a different level there.
What a cartel at.
Enough said.
No, yeah. You ain't got to say much else. I already know where you're going.
Yeah.
I already know where you're going.
Yeah. That's where I would go, but I'm not a young man, so.
Yeah, I got a question about Mexico. Is it safe currently in Mexico? It is.
You live in the United States, honey. You can go anywhere in the world and be safe.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I'd rather, if I'm in trouble, I'd rather be in the States in trouble than be in another country being in trouble.
Well, this is what comes doing your research. Go on YouTube and figure out what not to do to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you can't go.
That's why Jamaica sound good to me.
You can't go to another state and get in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, you can't leave the country and act differently than you would if you was leaving to go to Atlanta.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I be doing some stuff out here.
Your mind can't be on what if I get in trouble unless you're going there with the idea that I'm going to do something that could potentially put me in danger. Absolutely. I know people talk about the cartels, but we got police force all over this country that's worse than the cartel you can never imagine.
Hey, I was just about to say, when you mentioned Colombia, that's the first thing I thought about was them cartels.
That's not what I thought about. That's that propaganda you were brought up in the 80s. I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 46. So, you know, I brought up in that where everything came, you know, during the Reagan era, the big war on drugs. Oh, it's all coming from Colombia, Mexico, and Cuba. Yep. So we got to shut down our borders and this and that now. There was a lot of stuff going on, and don't get it twisted. It was wild, but it wasn't us going over there and renting planes and.
Of course.
So they knew because they were participants in it. I'm just, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but listen, it's 2022. They want you to come there. There's so many Black people that travel to these places. I've traveled independently by myself, solo traveler to these countries. And, several of the people that I hang with have as well. And, my co-host, Travelmatic Adrian, has been to, Colombia. He's been to Mexico by himself. He's been to Brazil by himself. Jay Clyde is another listener, who's gone to these countries by himself multiple times. So you do have to establish your level of comfort, but that comes in time. You get your feet wet.
Yeah.
But I encourage you to push yourself outside your comfort zone, because I promise you, there's one thing I'm gonna promise you out of all of this, is there is something on the other side of it that's going to change your perspective about.
I like the way you talking.
That is a fact.
I like the way you talking. Tell me about your favorite trip.
Ooh, my favorite trip was my first solo trip, international, and that was to Cuba. I did that in 2019, 4th of July weekend 2019. I actually left 4th of July and was there for a week. And how I went was by happenstance. So little background is Cuba's been my dream. It's been my dream trip. And so when I decided I was going to go somewhere solo internationally, that's when I made the decision first, because I too had I had some fears I had to get over. I've been traveling domestically by myself for a long time, since I was a teenager. So I wasn't uncomfortable, but I wanted to go outside the US and get outside my comfort zone. I knew it would grow me in some way. And so I basically put a bunch of alerts. I have a bunch of travel apps. I put an alert out for some of the places that I was interested in going. And I got an alert. I'm in Ohio, in Cincinnati particularly, and flying out of Cincinnati to go international could be really expensive, especially in the summertime, because that's peak travel season, right?
Yeah.
And so I got an alert for $200 round trip to Cuba, to Havana, Cuba. Wow. Not only was it $200, but my connecting flight was in Atlanta. So I fly from Cincinnati to Atlanta. I had a 2-hour layover in Atlanta and head to Havana. And they weren't like 6 a.m. flights. They weren't like midnight flights. It was like the perfect timing. And I just booked it. I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't have an itinerary. Yeah. I didn't even know if I was going to go. I figured I'm just going to book it, because I have Delta gives you 24 hours to cancel if you book a refundable ticket. So that's what I did. I booked it. And it was the most incredible, life-changing trip I've ever had in my entire life. It was beyond my expectations. I got to do everything I ever dreamed of doing in Havana. I'm talking smoking cigars in a jazz,
Wow.
Latin jazz club in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
night. I'm talking
Nice.
salsa
Mm-hmm.
dancing,
Nice.
close to somebody, salsa dance,
All right. All
and
right.
live music. I'm talking riding horseback in the field. I'm talking going on and watching to see how they make the cigars. I'm talking zip lining. I'm talking staying with a family in Cuba and learning about Cuban culture, cooking and eating authentic Cuban food, meeting Afro-Cubans, which was so freaking dope, like beyond dope.
Oh, you
Um,
went crazy.
oh, I went crazy for a whole week. And then visiting
That's
more
what's
than
up.
one city. So I didn't stay just in Havana. I also went to a small town called Vinales.
Mm.
And that's where I did the horseback riding and got to tour
Yeah.
um, the farm where they did the tobacco, and you stayed with the family. And I had a really great time.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
I remember
That's what's
my
up.
first international trip. I was a kid. I probably had to be like 7, 8 years old, and even at that time, I really didn't appreciate, the place that I was. We were on a cruise to Bermuda, so I really didn't take it in all that much. But 9 years ago, I got married, and me and Debbie, we went to Dominican Republic for our honeymoon, and it kind of opened me up to, wow, I want to do more international travel.
Yeah.
So after that point, we went to the Bahamas 2 years later for a week. That was cool. And then we went to Costa Rica. Now, the Costa Rica trip, it was like me and like 60 of us. It was like family and friends,
Wow,
and
that's dope.
yeah,
That's dope.
it was family, friends, and all that good stuff. And Costa Rica is a pretty cool place too. Like
Yes, it is. It's
we
beautiful.
we rode bikes all through the neighborhoods and stuff, and then we went to like the central area where they do all the shopping and all that stuff. So it was dope.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
the traveling period kind of gets you out because you get to feel like you know what it is? You feel like you get to be yourself
Yeah.
because
Mm.
nobody knows you. So there's no expectation attached to how you should act or how
Hmm.
you should be. So you get to relax. You don't have to worry about work. If you don't have your
That's one of the
kids with
best
you, you don't
things.
have to worry about the kids. You really get to just leave all your worries at home. So when you're traveling, you just kind of get to enjoy the moments that you're in. You don't
Hmm.
even have to be doing nothing. You can just be sitting on the beach, drinking a beer.
That's one of the best
And really
Yeah.
like,
things.
this is so dope. And it's really not that dope. You just not doing nothing but chilling. It's
Wake
just,
up
Right.
and go to the beach.
yeah.
Directly from the bed to the beach.
But something happens
Mm.
when you go international because you're outside your comfort of I'm in the United States.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
grows you in a different way than it would if you were traveling domestically. And when you do it by yourself, now see, again, I'm an introvert. I like to say I'm an introvert extrovert, which means
Me
I
too.
am pretty comfortable in my own skin and can do a whole lot of things. I was the girl eating at the bar at the sports bar and being the only girl in the whole sports bar watching, the playoffs or watching football or
Yeah.
watching track because I'm comfortable in my own skin. I don't worry about what other people think about me. I'm comfortable enough to understand that I'm going to live and enjoy my life um, the way that I was placed here to do. And hopefully somebody else sees, hey, that girl really is, now it's all self-care. I can take myself out on dates. I've been doing that
Yeah.
for 15 years. Is going to the
Talk your
movies,
shit.
taking myself on dates, like so it just grows you in a different way that makes you appreciate life differently, and it changes your perspective about what you want out of life, and it makes you a better person. So you show up in your everyday a different, better version of yourself because you've allowed
Mm.
yourself to be stretched and grown in different ways.
Maestro, you got
Respect.
to plan that trip, man.
Respect. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, you selling me. You're selling me. Tiff, you definitely selling me, Shawty. I can't pretend. You definitely selling me. So I just literally left a track meet today. So
Okay.
my oldest daughter, this is her first year in middle school running track, and she just
Oh,
had her championship today. And amongst my frustrating day because it's raining in the DMV area and all those types of things. You gotta go out there and support your kids. But I understand that you are a track aficionado.
I am.
And I
So
would love to know. I would love to know if So when my daughter asked me about how to podcast, when I can tell her I spoke to a track aficionado, what tips can I give her?
So first tip is do it because you love it. Because track is not a sport that you're going to do because you're there all day. You're there from most meets start at 10 and you're there till 7 or 8, depending on what level you are. You know, junior high is a little bit differently, but you're there all day.
Yeah,
And
I
it's a
was.
sport where it's a sport that you really have to find your thing. You know, coaches will put you in a bunch of different things to try to figure out what your thing is, but go with the thing that you love to do the most. That's going to make you the greatest at. And that's going to make it more enjoyable for you. Because if you're not enjoying it at junior high level, you may not do it in high school.
Yeah.
And the second thing is don't let anybody tell you what you should be doing. That's the second thing. And there's a reason why I say that, because when I was your daughter's age, I came into junior high knowing what events I wanted to run. I've been watching track since 84. So we're talking younger. I'm 46, so I was born in 75. So we're talking younger than junior high age. I'm watching the 84 Olympics. I already know what events I want to be in. And at that point, I knew I wanted to be Gail Devers, because Gail Devers ran the 100 hurdles.
Shout out to her.
The 100. And she ran the 100. And I'm going to be Gail Devers. Now, everybody says FloJo, but you got to be a bad woman to be able to do the 100 hurdles and do the 100 back to back the way the Olympics were set up at the time. And so I got to, first day of junior high track practice. Got there and he brings out the hurdles. I'm like geeked. I ain't showing it. I'm just showing shy. But I'm geeked on the inside. I'm screaming like, this is my time. All my hard work. I'm ready. And I went over the first hurdle and he told me literally never do that again.
Just so we're clear, of all the all-time greats, Devers was the one for you coming up? Like she was your inspiration?
No. So my inspiration was actually Evelyn Ashford. Do y'all remember that? See, I got to go way back.
Nope.
You got to be old enough to know who
I got to do
Evelyn
some
Ashford
research on her.
So in 84, prior to that, the U.S. had boycotted the Summer Olympics because they were in like Moscow, and so they didn't go. So 84, the Olympics was in L.A. And in pure United States fashion, they put on a show because the Soviet Union didn't come and I think China didn't come. So it was going to be dominated by the U.S. because we were the largest team. So this was my first time really seeing track and field on network television. So they had this is when they used to play track and field on TV. And so they had all the fanfare, all the stories behind the stories. And it was Carl Lewis and Evelyn Ashford. They just dominated in these 100, 200, the long jump, the U.S. women's relay, the men's relay. It was just an amazing time. And that really got me hooked. So I would have to say the first woman I really admire was Evelyn Ashford, and then of course Carl Lewis.
All right, so I need to get my daughter excited because she's kind of halfway in, halfway out right now. Like she wants to do it, but she's looking for a reason to get out of it, that kind of thing. She's 11, so I'm not mad at it. But if I'm trying to push her into track, is there and I don't mean push like force, but push her to get her like, ooh, I really want to do this. What's your recommendation?
Get her to start watching meets. Some of the collegiate meets, the USA Track and Field Junior meets is a great place to get her excited. And you know how? Because if you can get her on a team, you can get her on a team, that's easy to do.
Yeah.
She starts traveling with the team during the summer. She gone.
Yeah.
She's not with y'all. She gone. And she builds those relationships. She builds those friendships. And now she wants to be around all things track and field. And that's what she'll also find her, she'll start learning her niche. She'll see other kids that look like her participating. That's really where you can kind of, I want to encourage you and take her out to practice. Now, it's not going to be easy. You got to let her know it's not going to be easy. And I'm going to tell you, these kids are different than how we was.
Yeah, man. Because I seen my baby get yelled at the other day, and she could not take it. My baby got yelled at, and she didn't deal with it well. And I don't want that to discourage her. I'm like, baby, the sports. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but
yeah.
I
mean, I know a young man here in Cincinnati. His name is Connor Sherman. Miles Split has ranked him #1 in the state of Ohio for 12-year-olds. He's 12. He's in junior high.
Yeah.
And he runs the 100, the 200, the 400. I think this kid, you put him in anything, he's going to be able to do it. It's just some people just automatically, and his training is intense. And this is him wanting to do it. You ask him interview, you can go to my Instagram page or my TikTok page and see him. But you ask him what he wants. He wants to be an Olympic champion. He wants to be Usain Bolt. He wants to be, this is what he aspires. So you've got to put in front of her people that she can identify with that makes her want to aspire to that. And that will encourage her. Put her in that environment is what's going to encourage her. It's hard for junior high teams. It's really hard, but you got to make it, it's school related. If you get her outside of that, that's why I said USA Track and Field, Junior Olympic League, or AAU. I'm USATF certified official, so I'm always going to lean towards what I know and what I've done.
Gotcha.
And what I officiate, because I know the exposure that it gives you. But really, any kind of summer league team will help get her acclimated to what it's like to be on a team, what it's like to have that kind of support, and the benefits of it.
Straight.
That's what's up. Hey, Maestro, quickly before I transition here, shout out to Mocha Bella in the chat, in the Facebook live chat. She actually has a question for you, Maestro. She says, what made your daughter want to run track?
Somebody asked her to do it in elementary school. She did good for elementary school kids, so that's why she's doing it now. I think this is what this conversation that me and her had. But she is extremely small. Like, God bless my baby, she's small. And I think she's starting to see the bigger kids and like, I don't know.
And tell her the best hurdlers are small hurdlers. I don't know what it is about short girls and running hurdles and jumping. Long jump.
Is she the smallest on the team right now?
Easily. I mean, easily.
Wow.
I mean, she's the smallest everywhere. She played basketball too. She's the smallest there.
Yeah.
She said, that's my baby. She a small one. She a little.
Now, does she like basketball better?
I don't think she knows yet because she just started basketball this year. So I've been taking her to like extra clinics on the weekends to kind of help her out, and it's just that thing. She starts to see people more experienced and makes her feel away. So we've been at it. We've been at it like twice a week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I actually in junior high and high school played basketball, volleyball, and ran track. I played softball at some point too. So I did all three.
Okay.
Yeah. True athlete. Spoken like a true athlete.
Yeah. She's definitely the sport, and I don't know if she get it from me, and I don't even know why she get it from me because I never did organized sports as a kid, but I think she sees me playing basketball and say, "Ooh, I want to play basketball," and that type of thing. So I encourage her the best way I can. I don't know what she's going to stick to yet.
Yeah,
Man, if I can stick my youngest one or something.
I'll tell you a story. Tiana Madison. She's from Ohio. She was Olympic. You guys seen that 4x1? Carmelita Jeter was the anchor, and the girl who ran she was like super fast on the first leg. It's like the Olympics wasn't Rio. Anyway, it's a video that everybody passes around.
Yeah.
She was the first leg, and she's from Ohio, up near Cleveland, Lima or something around that area. And she didn't run track until like her senior year of high school. She played basketball. No, she wrestled. She was a wrestler.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't run track to her senior year. So, and I see that a lot when I'm paying attention to the track athlete. I follow a lot of track athletes on Twitter. I go to a lot of podcasts for track and field. And I talk to a lot of officials, and some of these kids don't pick track and field until like later in high school. So you never know what she's going to pick. Just make sure you just give her the grace to figure it out and constantly ask her, what does she like? That's the thing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I take that because it's damn sure a fight trying to figure it out. And then, you sit there and fight with her. It's cool. It's my baby. I fight with her till she don't want to fight no more. But it's definitely a fight figuring out what she want to do and how she want to do it. And I know that was tough for you, but you kind of got to keep doing this if you want to do this. And
Yeah.
like she tried to walk out on a basketball practice the other day. I said, nah, you gonna sit here until this practice over. Now, if you don't want to do it after that, we'll talk about it. But this one right here that we're at, we about to thug this one out.
And that's the reason why I'm not coaching. I mean, because it happens in high school too. It happens in high school, and I don't come from that. You didn't do that sport unless you loved it. Right. Like you just didn't do it because it was hard. It wasn't easy. I remember running practices in the summer league. It was July, August.
Yeah.
For nationals, and it's 5:00, which is the hottest point of the day.
Yeah.
And it's 99 degrees outside the track. Whenever you go on the track, it's 10 to 20 degrees hotter on the track than it is outside the track. And we out there practicing. You gotta love it. It's not gonna be easy.
Man, you got me thinking about these past few days, man. Over the weekend, it was just scorching hot.
Oh, we didn't have that.
Don't remind me.
No, but see, and that was it's funny you mentioned that, Trey, because Saturday I'm thinking to myself, I bet her little basketball clinic got canceled for Saturday. So I'm like, all right, well, let me still get her up early, get them up early. Let's go, work out. And it was about 84 degrees, so it hadn't even got hot yet.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you these two little girls ain't make it 10 minutes in 84-degree weather, and I'm the fat old person that can't barely move, and they couldn't make it 10 minutes, I was like, man, and part of me wanted to kind of nudge them, but I know what they're gonna do with their father. They're gonna pout and cry, so I don't want to be that dude. But I was just like, man, these little youngins didn't want no smoking 84-degree weather, at all.
Yeah,
that would have been air conditioning compared to what we ran in. I mean, I'm in the Midwest in Ohio, and I'm in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is like a valley, so you literally just sitting there with the heat and humidity right on top of you. Like there ain't nothing like that.
Yeah, that's crazy, Maestro. Funny you said that story. So Sunday, Natalie had a soccer game at 12:00 in the afternoon, right? And Natalie's my 5-year-old, Tiff, and 4 of her teammates, and actually it was 3 of her teammates, 4 including herself, out of 10 players on the team show up for the game. So we're already shorthanded, right? Man. And the other teams got all 9 of their players ready to go. And it feels like it's 90, 95 degrees out. And it was actually 90 degrees out, right?
Yeah,
it was about that. It was about that, right? Mm-hmm. And so they starting to play, and the other team actually had to give us a goalie because we only had 4 kids to play with. So it was basically 4-on-4 plus the goalie. And the first 10 minutes, they wanted to come get their water breaks, and rightfully so, because it was so hot. Yeah. That, about every 5-10 minutes, the kids had to come off the field, get a drink of water. We played the game in quarters instead of halves. So at the half point, kids ain't want to play. Two of the kids on the field, they just watching the ball roll by them. We getting goals scored on us. Natalie's the one out of the 4 that's out there, trying to make something happen. And
you triggering me, bruh.
And the coach was like, look, she asked the kids, hey, y'all still want to go? And I told Nat, I said, say no, because it was hot out there, and the parents and the other team had tents up and all that stuff, and we out here just collecting sunburn and all this stuff. They called that game at halftime. I said, I said, bravo.
You guys have no idea. Last year, I was in Jacksonville, Florida for the, coincidentally, this week last year, I was in Jacksonville, Florida for the NCAA East Preliminary Regional. So that's the qualifier for the national championship that happens in June. So they have an East preliminary rounds, And then they have a West preliminary rounds, and whoever makes it from the East preliminary rounds go to the national championship, and same with the West. And we're in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm an umpire. Umpires make sure that everyone's fair on the track. So the exchange zones, you stay in your exchange zones. There's no bumping and pushing and grabbing. We mark, we're looking, that's what we're doing. We're looking for those things. You stay in your lanes where you're supposed to. You don't get out of your lanes. You're hurdling correctly. We're doing all of that. So we're on the track during all of the running events from sunup to sundown. And the first part of the day in Jacksonville Stadium at North Florida, there is the bleachers, well, not bleachers, but they have stands. The sun is above the stands the whole meet. And so you're an umpire and you're facing, the track is in front of you. You're sitting in the seat facing you. And when I tell you got your hat, because the sun is like burning your skin. You can't drink no water because again, it's back to back events. So you can drink a little bit because you have to, but ain't no going run to the bathroom and all of that. Like it's not a whole lot of that happening. So y'all watching these things and being hot, you know what to do next time. Bring an umbrella.
Yep.
So make sure you have the right stuff. I have a pod when I go watch stuff that you can just sit up a tent, watch. My nephew plays soccer.
Ice water.
Ice water. I got a cooling towel, all that to keep cool. But when you officiating, you got to give it up to these people who come out to watch your kids. Yeah. Make sure they have fair games, because a lot of times, and this is a lot of things that people don't know, is officials don't get paid a whole lot of money at all. Yeah. They do this because they love to support the sport. So I'm not trying to hear your tears about the soccer game and the track meet.
Right.
You know what to bring next time. You knew it was gonna be 90 degrees.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You making me think about the last time I yelled at an official. They didn't really want to hear that, huh?
No, and I did a meet this past Saturday in Louisville, and some of you parents are worse than the children.
I agree with that 100%.
These events, whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, whether it's track and field, we as officials know how the meet is ran. Not only do we know because we've done it, we know because we meet an hour and a half before the meet to go over the same things that the coaches and parents are sent with the rules of the meet, how the meet's going to go, how things are timed, how's officiated, what's going on. That all is communicated prior to the meet. We just go over it to make sure we all are all on the same page. Right. And some of these parents want leniency on the rules because they're just kids. But I'm running a meet. We're running a meet based upon rules that we have to run the meet by in order to be a sanctioned event, in order for it to be fair. And that's our job, is to make it fair. And you showing up late to an event and your child not being able to participate, and you're telling me that's not fair, when everybody else's child showed up on time to the event, were able to do what they were supposed to do, and you want me to bend the rules because you drove 4 hours for your child to compete in that one event that you made them late for.
Yeah, it's about that preparation.
Right. It's about following the damn rules. I agree with that. Yep. Now my yelling wasn't because of that, so I'm not as bad as those parents. But
hey, one more thing before in regard to track and field, Tiff. Shout out Andre Elam in the Facebook Live chat. He had a question for you. He says, "What about the Prefontaine women 100-meter dash? What's it going to be like, and the men's 100-meter dash as well?"
So I'll tell you why he's asking that. It's funny, I have that on my list. So let me tell you who's going to be in that women's Prefontaine. So the Prefontaine meet will be happening in Eugene, Oregon. They'll probably show it on TV. You guys follow me on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter. I'll be more than happy to post that information. I always do. But that event is Saturday, the 28th. And it's going to be a big one because this is going to be the second time that we are going to see Sha'Carri Richardson this year. So we haven't seen her since her ban.
Shout out to her.
So she will be coming back. She actually did a meet last Saturday in Jacksonville.
Okay.
American Track League. So if you guys are interested in watching Track League on usually on ESPN2 is where you'll find them. Follow American Track League on Instagram. They're having meets locally. So if you're in Atlanta, you're in Memphis, you're in Jacksonville. They had one in Louisville. They've got some in California. They're bringing local meets to your areas, but bringing national competitors and world-class competitors to these meets. So they're really fun, really great time. So if you have an opportunity to go. But so in that meet will be not only just Sha'Carri running the 100, but Elaine Thompson Herrera from Jamaica will also be running in the 100, as well as Dinah Escher-Smith, who's from Great Britain. So what are we going to see? You know, you got Sha'Carri, you've got Elaine Thompson. I'm sure we're going to have other people. I'm not sure if TT Thompson is going to be competing. I'm not sure if, what's her name? Oliver is going to be competing. For right now, these are who they're marketing as the headliners of the 100. It's going to be interesting. I'm hoping for the best for Sha'Carri. This is the second time we'll see her, like I mentioned. Elaine Thompson has been showing a little bit like she's injured. We don't know if she's injured. She hasn't mentioned anything about being injured, but she's pulled out of some Diamond League meets that has people asking those type of questions. I would be interested to see if Shelly Ann Fraser-Price decides at the last minute, she's not on the card for this meet, but that would have been a very interesting thing because she's kind of spearheaded herself as the woman to beat, along with Kambuji from Norway. Is she from Norway? Finland, Norway, one of them countries
one of them
that
places.
She don't look like them.
Tiff, I gotta let you know right now. You putting us in a whole track and field zone that, let me speak for myself, I know nothing about it. I know Sha'Carri. So you put me in the bag. So when people, because I know a lot of people think because we do a sports podcast, we know everything we need to know about all these, and we really don't be. But I'm taking these little nuggets, and so just when somebody call me, I'm like, yeah, but what about such and such and such? So I'm playing this episode back so you giving me game right now.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Tiff, you're making history on our podcast because in the 200 plus episode history of this podcast, this is the only time that we've ever spent this much time talking track and field. Shout out to you.
And we rocking. Yeah, and we rocking.
I love all sports, but that's my heart right there, track and field. But
I could tell.
The women's 100 will be one to watch. The men's 100, I think let's see who they got. They've got Trayvon Bromwell, who's going to be running. He does well in these smaller meets. I haven't seen him do really well in these larger meets. So we'll see how that goes. But that's who's to watch in the 100. There's going to be some key races in all the way from, I'm going to say 1,500 down to 100. That includes the 100-meter hurdles for both men and women. Look for in the men's 100 hurdles. I don't know if your boy that used to run for Florida is going to be. Anyway, watch those races. The Prefontaine is a classic meet. It's a precursor to the U.S. championships that will be happening later in June. That is the qualifier for the World Championships that happen in July. By the way, World Championships, this is the first time ever it's been on U.S. soil. And I will be there, of course. I had to be there.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. And this is the last track and field thing. Don't forget that NCAA East and West Regional start this week. They actually start tomorrow. The men kick it off on Wednesday. The women kick it off on Thursday. The men's finals are on Friday, and the women's finals are on Saturday. You do not want to miss the finals. If you don't watch nothing else, watch the finals and wait for the 100, the 200, the 100 hurdles, especially the women's 100. One, I think the NCAA record is going to be broken. I think it's going to be broken. Two, Coastal Carolina has one girl who has the fastest time in the country right now, and that's the HBCU. And I always got to give it up to HBCU who are shining on that large stage.
Yeah,
but respect. Also Amy Griner, can't remember her name. What is her name? Amy Steiner, who is from Kentucky. You might have seen her. She's the white girl from Kentucky that's been burning up the track in the 200 and the 100, pretty much. She's going to be running. And there's a young lady from LSU who's also, SEC champion right now. So it's going to be good track and field this weekend alone. So look on your local stations. Follow me on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, and I'll be more happy to provide those station channels. But you do want to watch those events.
All right, we gonna tap in.
All right,
we definitely gonna tap in.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, now from one Raven fan to another.
Let me go and get me some water real quick.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go on ahead, bro. You go ahead, do what you gotta do, man. So Tiff. So a few questions for you, because we've had a couple of guests previously come on here and talk about the Ravens flock and the fan base and some of it.
Fan base?
Well, I'm in a lot of Twitter spaces.
You want to ask me? You want to ask me?
No, she's asking me. She's asking me.
First of all, what team are you a fan of?
Who?
Who's your team? Maestro.
Hold on. Can you see? Can you see?
Oh, yeah. That's why I told him he could go off.
Holla at me in 5 years. You're not even relevant for about 5 years. Holla at me about 3 years. All right.
Look,
yeah.
I'm only accepting that because we're in the off season and I let us retire. But around August, I'm back to being unobjective. Let's be clear. Y'all accept objective Maestro until about August.
Even though he shouldn't be, because he got Coach Epps coaching the team. One of the best coaches in the league. I don't know why but that's either here nor there.
It's only so much greats can do, man. So like I said, I'm gonna be objective right now. But if you happen to circle around this podcast
why do you have a
about
problem
August,
with our fans? Y'all got the second most obnoxious fans in the NFL.
Let me tell you a very, very good reason
Everybody
right
knows
now.
Steelers fans act like they the Steelers. Okay, they are the Detroit Pistons of the NFL. I don't care what nobody say.
Oh, snap.
Y'all are the bad boys of the NFL. Don't nobody like that.
Oh, snap.
Hey.
So,
I ain't never heard that comparison before.
Listen, y'all are the top 5 worst, top 3 worst fans for me is
we've been smoking y'all boots for a long time.
And Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
What was the second fan base? What was the second fan base you said?
Cincinnati Bengals fans.
Oh, the Bengals fans. Okay.
I don't even know about that fan. I only know one. I know a Cincinnati Bengals family.
They come. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh have the biggest rivalry in our division. People keep telling me it's the Ravens and the Steelers. I don't think so.
I think it's the Ravens and Steelers. I think
it's the Ravens. It's the Ravens and Steelers. The biggest rivalry.
I think so.
Ravens and Steelers have never had physical altercations on the field. Bengals and Pittsburgh.
That's true.
That's a good
point. From that standpoint.
Twice.
Okay.
That's a good point.
From that standpoint. Got you.
Twice.
That's a good point.
And even the Browns have gotten physical with Pittsburgh on several occasions in the past.
Because we're gentlemen. We don't fight. We don't do all that. That's y'all. Y'all be doing that because y'all get frustrated. We don't do that. We handle our stuff. We go and we strategize. We all about strategy. Y'all just trying to muscle.
6 rings. I don't know. Hey, maybe the muscling is working. Is all I'm saying.
When was the last one y'all had? Oh, okay.
2008.
Been a while.
Look.
Okay.
It's been a while.
It's been a while in Baltimore too. It's been a while in Baltimore too.
But see, we got the most recent one of the two teams, so
I don't know why that means so much to you though.
Because we have
it's about to be 10 years.
We have the most recent reign between the two teams.
I heard you the first time.
And we're a younger team.
I don't even know what that. All right.
We haven't been around as long as y'all.
You know what y'all problem is? This is my problem with y'all on Twitter recently. So one day I'm scrolling through Twitter. I ain't got nothing better to do, and I see my man's is in a Twitter space, and I go in there. I'm like, all right, let me see what my man talking about. And when I tell you that y'all was in there having a straight up bitch session about the state of y'all organization right now, and I'm like, oh no.
It was Bobby Wagner. It was Bobby Wagner.
I don't want to hear y'all.
Were you following Steelers last year on Twitter?
Yeah.
Steelers fans, were you in the conversations with Steelers fans? Because I was.
I don't conversate with none of. I ain't gonna lie to you, Tiffney. This is something that I'm learning. You know what? And this is all. It always goes back to Trey. Trey, you are in some respects my inspiration, bruh. because I'm not the type of person. I don't like I'm on social media. I'm pretty much there to do my business, like what I like, and then and get a ball for there. I don't talk to people.
He don't like socializing with people.
I don't like people.
He don't.
I think people.
You cut me off before you see where I was going with this. My
Oh,
point
people
is,
are so stupid.
when have you ever not gone to an NFL fan base conversation about how their organization's doing if they're not winning, especially if they're not winning, and not seeing fans bitching? It happens for every team.
To every fan base. Every fan base has a bitch session about their team.
You mad at us because we being like everybody else. We're supposed to be different. You know why? Because you think we're different. We don't think we're different. That's
I know
you
6 rings is different.
We think we different. So
I think 6 rings is
Keep
different.
going back to them rings, man. You was only alive for 2 of them rings, man.
That sounded real insecure. When somebody telling me why they don't like me and it ain't got nothing to do with me, that's all about them.
Oh, you grown? Hey, you grown?
But Tiff, just to get to my earlier question though, because we had a couple of guests on that were saying, Ravens fans are the worst, and they be in the Twitter spaces acting up and stuff. And some of it I agree with. I don't know what your exposure to Twitter space or even conversations with other Ravens fans are, but some of it is cool, and then most of it is toxic. Like most of
this is what it is. Ravens fans like to talk shit.
Tell it.
Because we do got some backup with it. No matter what you say, you can't say we ain't got no rings. You can't say we don't have no black quarterback. We can't say we don't do this. We've got Hall of Famers, all the stats. We got some of the best players in the league in different positions.
You can't say we the Lions.
Yeah, so we're not a losing team. We are consistent with being competitive. Whether or not we're always championship competitive is different, but during the season you're gonna play hard football against us.
Top 5 front office.
And Baltimore, really the fan base, we take a lot of stuff because y'all ain't nothing but Cleveland and this and that, and y'all don't make the right decisions, and we're in that conference that's always going to be competitive. It's always you got Baltimore, you got Cleveland, you got Pittsburgh.
Bengals,
these are gritty. Teams are gonna always butt heads.
Yeah, they fight.
That's where people pick up on us as being assholes. Is we're not. We like to talk shit. We like that shit. We feed on that shit. You come at us about our team, you better have all your stuff together.
Tell us,
because we get hit and thrown at all the time. I live in Cincinnati. And last year, the Cincinnati Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. Do you know how many calls, texts, tags, DMs, people on the street? I took and I posted this on my social media, and Mocha might remember this if she's still watching. I took my friends are Bengals fans, diehard. Her husband played for the Cincinnati. His name is Joe Kelly. He played for the Cincinnati Bengals on that Super Bowl. That sounds familiar. On that Super Bowl team in 88, 87-ish.
Yep.
And he's from LA. And so she came with us to the Ravens game against the Bengals in Baltimore. And, we had high hopes. There's just one team. I could lose to any other team in the NFL. I'm going to be honest with you. Losing to them, for me, is like, I don't know how to compare it. I don't know how to compare it because it's not really comparable.
I get it.
And we lost. And my friend Tiffney is just like me, Tiffney, loud, got personality. And we're sitting in the Baltimore side of the stadium. She got all her Bengals stuff on, and she is yelling, saying, messing with us. I got it on video, harassing us. So, that's why we the way we are, is because we take hits from, Steelers, you ain't got 6 rings, and you ain't did this. And then the Browns, you ain't nothing but us. And y'all ran like a thief in the night, blah, blah, blah. So we get it. That's why we're on the defensive. But it's all love at the end of the day.
Interesting. Well, I've never heard Baltimore Ravens is the worst fan base. Well, and I don't really care who's the worst fan base, to be honest with you. I don't really care.
The Dallas Cowboys.
And you know what? My homegirl is a Dallas Cowboy fan, and she'd be like, "Yeah, we is the worst." So,
because they say they're gonna win the Super Bowl every year, and then they get in the playoffs and they choke.
Every year they have Jerry Jones as a coach, as an owner. Every year, every year you make these declarations, you forget that you have Jerry Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he kind of is a coach, even if he ain't.
Organizations win
everything.
Organizations win Super Bowls, not teams. People want to believe that it's teams. It is organizations who win Super Bowls.
That's a great point. It's a great point.
So, how you feeling about the offseason moves? Because
I don't like none of them.
You don't like none of them? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
You got the floor. You got the floor.
Lamar hasn't signed a deal yet. That's priority one.
Mm-hmm.
Then you let go Hollywood Brown during the draft, and you draft this Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame, which I already got a problem with anyway.
Wow, because I never heard that.
He runs a 4.59 in the 40. Do you know how slow that? I can run a 4.5 right now. I can't run a 4.5.
I'm gonna say I run like a 7.8.
But for the position of safety, I'm just gonna say it like this.
Yeah.
Notre Dame is overhyped every year, and so these athletes from Notre Dame get visibility because of that. So that's my problem one. Because you tell me that a 4.59 DB safety corner from any other school in the Power 5, I mean outside the Power 5, would make it to in the first round, 14th pick in the NFL draft. I would tell you were crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you were crazy. So Notre Dame got him a little leverage. He goes to Columbine, poops all over Columbine in Indianapolis, runs a 4.59. He's got to cover, and again, I'm always going to take it back to the teams I don't want to lose to. He got to cover Higgins. He got to cover Boyd, and he got to cover Chase just in Cincinnati alone. And then don't forget, you play Miami week 2. Who he got to cover in Miami now?
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill.
Well, in the division, he got to cover Amari Cooper now.
Yeah.
He in Cleveland,
So that was smart. Come on.
So I kind of see it a little differently, right? So, going into the draft, my thing was we got to address the pass rush. We got to address receiver. And, this is before I knew about Hollywood getting traded. Now, I feel differently about that, too, because at the end of the day, Hollywood Brown's second contract, we weren't going to give him that money. So it was better to get a first-round pick. I mean, a first-round pick. Like, nobody would have imagined us getting that. So
okay, but don't waste it on Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame, who runs a 4.5.
Well, that pick's going to be in the following draft. That pick's in next year's draft. I don't think that pick was for Kyle Hamilton. I mean, I could be wrong about that.
Trey?
I thought that pick was
going to be for
next year.
They traded Hollywood Brown for that pick. I think they
traded
with the Bills to move up to get Kyle Hamilton.
Right, because they moved. That's right, because they moved. Yeah. That's right. Well,
to get Kyle Hamilton.
Well, my only question about that is because we just signed Marcus Williams to a contract. We got him from the Saints. And so now we got 4 safeties on the roster. And to me,
that runs a 4.5.
I know.
9, which is almost a 4.6.
I get it. They're going to convert one of those safeties to a slot corner to fill that void that Tavon Young filled. He's no longer with the team now. So that's my question. Like, who are they going to convert to safety?
I don't know why you're so high on that. That's the second time you said that, and you said that they're going to convert somebody to a corner.
That's a lot of safeties, bro. Like,
I mean, you don't have to keep all of them. I mean, obviously you keep William, the cat from the Saints, and then you keep Hamilton, but they also just signed Kyle Fuller today.
Cornerback. Yep, 1-year deal.
Yeah,
I saw that.
So I'm not so necessarily sure that they're about to convert one of those safeties. I think if anything, they might not keep all of those safeties at bare minimum.
That's possible.
You got to keep Kyle Hamilton, damn it.
Right, and you got to keep him, right?
Yep.
And you got to keep Marcus Williams.
So you're talking about Chuck Clark possibly not being on the team. Yeah. You're talking about Deshaun Elliott not being on the team. He got hurt last year. I mean,
Yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible.
I don't even think that's a hard decision. I mean, and I'm speaking as not a Ravens fan. I don't even think that's a hard decision. No disrespect to Deshaun Elliott, who has some moments.
He had some moments. Yeah, he had some moments. But we still don't got no pass rush. We still don't have pass rush. That's the thing for me, where it's a question mark. It's who's gonna rush the passer, and if they're counting on the dudes we have right now, I don't think anybody's gonna be like T.J. Watt or anything like that. I mean, it's just gonna be
no
pass
TJ
rush by committee.
Only one T.J. Watt, bruh.
Oh my God! Why'd you even mention that?
It's only one, bruh. Why it's only one, bruh?
Why'd you even mention that name, Trey? Like,
it's only one, bruh.
Don't mention nobody. Don't even mention the letters S or E or L-E-R. None of that. Don't mention none of that for the rest of the night, please.
Come on, bruh.
Hey, they robbed your mans.
Who that?
T.J. Watt. Didn't they rob him of the record?
Yeah, they damn right they robbed him. Because that was a sack. And I don't care what you say about your little damn rule. That was a sack.
Hey, they going by the rules, bro. Rules are rules, bro.
We go by the rules. See how you like the lines habitually line.
Hey, that's what we do. That's what we do. You remember when Mike Tomlin stopped Jacoby Jones?
But you're good at pointing out what our thoughts are while you're habitually line stepping.
Hey, that's what we do. We constantly stretching the rules. You see how back in the day when Tomlin stopped Jacoby Jones from getting that touchdown on the kickoff, we do what we gotta do, Sean.
And we won that game still too. By the way,
don't matter.
Did we win that
I'm
game?
just talking about we doing what we gotta do sometimes.
Well, it
ain't work. It ain't work though.
Well, that did work.
And I'll be honest with you, since y'all been playing like that, y'all ain't won no Super Bowls, and you're not going to.
Don't worry, we might get one this year. Y'all mess around, make us
Mitchell
mad.
Trubisky? Don't sell that. Don't sell that, bro.
Hey, bro.
Don't sell Mitchell Trubisky to me, bro.
She's trying to awaken the August fan in me right now. I ain't trying to wake
Trey, they can bring the bus back and they still wouldn't roll with Trubisky.
Hey. Hey, I tell you what, playing the Ravens, we're gonna have plenty of time in the pocket. Hello.
Well,
hello.
Look, you're gonna need it. Slow ass Mitch.
Look. My running backs is coming back.
Extra meter for him.
My secondary coming back. My running backs are coming back.
My running back gonna take a step up.
Running back gonna take a step up.
We'll see. All that before none of them.
Hello.
Show me when you step on the field. Don't do all this. Don't do none of me. All that matters is what happens when that clock hits 0-0. You can do all that free stuff, all you want.
Hey, look, man. Hey, Trey, what's the Pittsburgh? Ain't we on a little run beating y'all right now?
Yeah.
No.
We on a little run.
They got a little run. Tiff, they got the belt. They got the belt right now.
We on a little run right now. That's all I'm saying.
So I can't. I can't talk until we beat them in the regular season. I can't talk.
Which y'all lost 6 straight, right? 6 straight.
But
no,
6 straight to go out.
4 straight. 4 straight.
No, 4 straight against Pittsburgh. But I'm talking about 6 straight to end the year.
Oh, to end the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just keep
throwing
the stuff out, and then be like, "Why y'all act like that?" And we just like, "Man, why you?"
I know, right? Y'all do got reason to bitch. You right. Y'all definitely do.
Eventually,
you know what? I'm sorry, Twitter Spaces. Y'all do have reasons to bitch in these. Y'all definitely did lose 6 straight.
Yeah, the end of the season. Weren't we like 8-3? We was the number 1 seed with 20 guys on injured reserve. Like,
and
I didn't think about that. Yeah, you know what? I didn't think about it like that, guys. I didn't think about it like that.
Here's what I can't wait for, Tiff. I can't wait for Lamar Jackson to come back, because everybody, they've been doing their top 5 lists. They top 5 in the AFC. They leaving my mans off of that list. Okay. And they keep disrespecting the dude.
Listen, Trey, you worried about the wrong thing. You know why I say you worried about the wrong thing?
Why's that?
Because one thing that Lamar Jackson has always shown us is that he's exactly where he needs to be. And when it's time, he's going to do what's going to need to be done. Mm-hmm. He sat at the NFL draft with not even his name being mentioned in those rooms. Goes to Baltimore. Didn't even know at that point if he was even going to be drafted. Comes to Baltimore, takes a back seat to Joe Flacco to learn as much as he could, and what happened when they called him up to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Then his very first season, he became MVP. He has always been deemed shouldn't be where he's at.
They keep moving the goalpost for this man. They keep moving it.
Let them move the goalpost. I have enough faith in who he is as an athlete to trust that he gonna get there. Mm-hmm. And he don't want you to love him. He wants you to hate him, because all you doing is proving to him that no matter what he does, you're always gonna find a reason. So I'm just gonna keep being great.
And see, Tiff, that's why he's turning down the money he's being offered, because he knows he's worth more. He knows that. That's why he's playing the season out. And just like Joe did, played the season out, won a Super Bowl, cashed in.
I was going to say, won a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
And what did he say when they asked him what he was going to do? He went right into the camera and said, give me my money.
Yep. That's what Lamar trying to do. And I respect it.
Give me my money.
I respect it.
Yep. And you know who
hope that work out for y'all, man.
You know who told him? Hey, if it don't, it's just football.
We got a Super Bowl. What you mean how it work out?
I'm talking about for Lamar Jackson. I'm talking about how it work out.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least our team and our management and our GM got the balls to draft a black quarterback. Because who did y'all have an opportunity to draft in this year's draft, and who did you pick up? You know who you picked up instead? You picked up the story. You picked up the guy who makes a feel-good story. The
hometown
stories
kid.
The hometown kid who dreamed of playing for the Steelers. That's who y'all picked up.
Hey, I almost said something racist, Tiffney, on respect to my team, and I'm not gonna go that far. I'm just not gonna. You almost pulled it out of me, and I'm not gonna. You're not gonna get me to do it.
Well, first of all, Tiff, he didn't want to draft a quarterback to begin with.
I didn't want to draft a quarterback, though. Yeah, I didn't want to draft a quarterback.
He didn't want that.
So who was gonna be your quarterback? You knew Roethlisberger was retiring when he was fat ass.
Well, because at the end of the day, I don't look. If he is our franchise quarterback, great. I would love to be wrong, but I don't believe he's gonna be our franchise quarterback. Kenny Pickett. I think we could have stopgap with Mitchell Trubisky for a couple of years and hoped for the best after a year or two in the draft.
There was no way that boy family and his who his family knows has been lobbying for that kid to be a Steeler.
Yeah. I get it.
Even if they got him in the third round, which I think they could have got him later round, why you waste your first round? Like, Jesus.
I don't think he would have went there. I don't think he would have went past the second round.
With the way they were talking, you're probably right, Maestro. With the way they was talking.
Okay, so get him in the second round.
But I'm not sold on him. I mean, that just straight up, I'm not sold on him. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not sold on him.
Yeah, Malik Willis was right there, man. Right there for the taking.
Look, I'm not sold on Malik Willis, so, hey.
Look, man.
And by the way, we had the first black quarterback. Shout out Joe Gilliam.
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
It's different times now.
I'm just saying, if you're going to talk about sometimes
you could have had a black quarterback and a black head coach on the same team. Y'all organizations were
and y'all got Brian Flores on the staff
sometimes
too.
Sometimes it take a long time, but you gotta respect the originators, Ravens fans. We did it first.
How come old people always want you to respect them because they did it first instead of applauding the accomplishment you did going further than them?
Hey man, y'all was in a tough spot and all that.
When I'm old, I make this promise to all young people. When I get old, I'm gonna applaud you for what you did, stand on my shoulders. The last thing I'm gonna do is tear you down like Maestro do and tell you to get in your place, young man.
I tell you all you young motherfuckers down. But I tell you what, if Justin Herbert was there at 32, I don't know if it go the same way. I don't know if Lamar Jackson gets drafted at 32 if Justin Herbert is there.
Meaning if he'd have came out a year earlier, what you saying?
If Justin Herbert was there at 32 and Lamar Jackson was still there at 32, I don't think you guys are drafting a black quarterback.
But why do y'all always talking ifs? Those are scenarios will never. No.
Hey,
I'm
just saying that maybe.
I'm just saying that maybe. Got the whole room quiet and then repeated what you just said.
I'm just saying that maybe.
Not something
I'm
you
just
can
saying that
stand on,
maybe.
no meat and
I'm
potatoes.
just saying that maybe.
But
If the
I
world
in
was
China,
yours,
I
you
could
might
have
not
authentic
have wanted
Chinese food.
him. I'm just saying y'all may not have wanted him. Is all I'm saying.
You don't know
He
nothing.
might not have your first choice. I don't know nothing.
Exactly. You don't know nothing. So
Maestro,
let's move
he
on.
wasn't our first choice. Remember, we drafted the tight end. Remember, we traded down the draft. What's his name? Hayden Hurst. So yeah, he wasn't our first choice. There's no secret about that.
It was kind of like an oh shit, Lamar Jackson's still available.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure he was on their draft report. You know, I'm sure they were interested in him. I mean,
Of course.
He was undeniable at that point. What he done in Louisville, what he did at the combine, he was undeniable. So I'm sure somebody was going to get him. The question was, is he going to go in the first round? And you know, he's at the damn draft thinking he's going in the first round. Mm-hmm. So if he was at home chilling on the couch and they were talking about him being a second round draft pick, he probably would have been fine with that. But Lamar knew, like he knows now, that he was meant to be where he was supposed to be. He was meant to be the last pick in the first round.
And he's a top 2 quarterback in that whole draft class.
And he's the first one to become an MVP, wasn't he? Yep. In that draft class.
Yep.
Yes, that's a fact.
Yep.
That is a fact.
I mean, listen, you can deny the greatness. Yeah, is there issues? The whole organization got issues.
I'm a black quarterback fan.
Okay.
I only root against him when he play in Pittsburgh, and let's be clear, he don't play great against us in his career.
See how you just keep throwing stuff, and we the bad ones.
Hey, look, that's okay, because when we get our squad back, everybody in the North gonna know what's up.
I'm with you on that.
Everybody gonna know what's up.
Let's talk NBA player. We could do this banter all day. I got plenty of those in the clip, but we gotta talk. We gotta do a little bit of basketball. We just gotta do a little bit of basketball.
I got my basketball shirt on.
Hey. Shout out to the Pacers.
Indiana basketball. Actually, this is the Fever.
The Fever.
Nobody talks about WNBA. I got the Indiana Fever WNBA shirt on. This is to me the number on the back.
Okay.
The Mystics 5-2 right now, shorty. So I mean, I'm a little bit here.
Okay.
I'm a little bit
here. You go pretending to be a.
I'm a fake fan, bro. What you want me to do?
You go pretending to be a fake WNBA fan.
Just one. Name one player on the Mystics.
Who can't name Della Dawn? Come on now. Now, if you said 2. I would have struggled with 2. I would have struggled with 2.
You should have phrased it anybody other than Elena Della Dawn, and he would have froze up. He'd have froze up.
I definitely would have thought. I would have thought for a couple of seconds. You might have seen me cut the camera off real quick for like 5 seconds.
I like
my internet moved fast.
I like all WNBA. It's not like that nasty rivalry like the men have in the NFL. I said
ain't
NFL.
That with? Oh, don't make me shit on the WNBA. Ain't that what make it fun? The banter. Ain't that part of it?
You didn't hear me say nothing about it not being banter.
No, well, the hate is banter to me.
We're not talking about the hate.
Sometimes we gotta fight. That's the.
We don't need to do all. We don't need to do all. At the end of the day, it's a game. Like, at the end of the day, it's a game. Like, there's no reason to be fighting.
Me and Trey might grab each other's jerseys, but at the end of the day, we know it's a game. But sometimes you gotta.
Yeah.
You're playing. You're literally playing football. Like, that's what you're doing. There's no reason for it.
Sometimes, look, because I just made it. I made it up in my mind.
I love the WNBA because there's always an elevation of the player types, and you know, let me tell you this, and I'm gonna go with. I don't even like this girl, but I'm gonna go with something Candace Parker say, and I don't like Candace Parker.
Ooh.
Not because she's not cool. I think she's cool as hell. It's because somebody I dated took me to a Fever game with Candace Parker, and they love Candace Parker, and they sat in the seat next to me screaming like they were at a Jodeci concert, screaming, hollering, Candace! So that's why. Literally screaming Candace. It was bad. But
I'm gonna throw an audible at you. Since we talking WNBA, I thought about this topic for about a couple weeks now. Who you think the Mount Rushmore of the WNBA is as it stands right now?
I don't know.
Yeah. Like right now or like all overall?
No, I mean
Yeah,
like overall.
I would have to. I
Oh,
would have to.
that.
I
Oh,
need to do some
yeah.
research. You know, I know
So
Lisa
you best
Leslie's
better
gonna
have
be.
a 4 for you to say that.
I got a 4.
Lisa Leslie's going
Wow.
to be on the list because she was one
Yeah.
of the.
Yeah. So
She
for
was
me,
one of the most commercial um,
Mm-hmm.
right.
athletes that came out of the WNBA. I know some people are going to add a name on there that I won't add. I'll add Candace Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Candace Parker came from Tennessee, so she came from a legendary coach, legendary
Yep.
team,
Mm-hmm.
and she did some stuff that we hadn't seen. That was kind of the introduction to WNBA girls can look different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I don't have to
Right.
say it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so she became marketable to that. And on top of that, she was dog on the basketball court. Like
Yeah.
nobody was
Mm-hmm.
messing with Candace on the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would put those two definitely. You know, Taraji. Well, what is her name?
Tarasi.
Tarasi. I
Uh-huh.
never say her name right. Tarasi is climbing. You know,
Yeah.
you know, she's got multiple championships. She's got multiple, you know, appeal to she's a global
Yeah.
marketing athlete, and she, you know, you can't deny her on the basketball court.
Yeah.
And so I think, like I said, Tarasi's climbing, but I'm just gonna pick those two, Lisa Leslie and Candace Parker. And there's some other names that I just haven't thought about that question that I can't really think of. And that don't hate me for not, because I know there's some names that are I think Tina Turner? Tina
Thompson.
Tina
Thompson.
Yes.
Tina Thompson. Tamika Catchings.
That's a good one. That's a good one too.
I mean, so there's so many names that I think of that I could bring up, and I don't want to disrespect anybody because I need to do some research on that.
Here's my 4. Coop, even though she's not looking good in the news right now. I don't know if y'all heard, but I'm not going to go there right now.
Yeah.
Coop, Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi, Lisa Leslie. That's my 4.
So you leave Tamika Catchings off?
Parker?
You leave Candace Parker and Tamika Catchings off?
Who are you taking off the 4 that I just named? Who are you taking off?
Maya Moore, peace.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Over
Low-key,
Tamika Catchings.
low-key.
Over Tamika
Really?
Catchings.
Maya
Over
Moore's
Tamika
got
Catchings.
4 chips. What we talking about?
Maya, you over Tamika Catchings.
Maya Moore got 4 rings.
I'm sorry.
She got 4 rings.
I'm
biased.
I'm
get
wearing
it.
a Fever shirt. I'm biased, so I'm wearing an Indiana Fever
Hey,
shirt.
and you have a right
I'm
to
a
be
Bulls
biased.
basketball fan.
Shamika
I'm
Ho's
not
club.
gonna pick
Are we
the
being
girl from
biased?
Duke.
You have a
being
right. You
biased
have a
right
right
now?
for that. You have a right to do
I'm
that.
not
being
gonna pick
biased
the
right
girl
now?
from. Hey, didn't Maya Moore play for Duke? I'm not gonna pick the girl from Duke over the girl from Tennessee. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Hey.
I'm not doing it.
If we being biased, are we being biased?
No, of course. I just told you that. I'm not gonna pick the
Shamika
Duke
Ho's
girl.
Ho's claw.
Not no Mount Rushmore though.
Hey, I don't care. We say we being biased. That we said.
Okay, so if I'm biased, then I could pick Rebecca Lobo, but I know
Rebecca
damn
Lobo.
well.
Right,
I know damn
no.
well she ain't
No.
in no Mount Rushmore. I could go
No.
Teresa Weatherspoon, but no.
But I like
I'm
Dawn
not picking-
Staley too.
I'm not
And
Dawn
nobody's
Staley.
gonna put her on nobody's gonna put her there, but I like Dawn Staley.
I do. I love Dawn Staley.
Yeah.
Watched Dawn Staley in college. Watched her in the professional level. Watched her in the Olympics, and now I watch her team that she coached. I'm so happy for who she is because she always has been herself. There's a consistency of I'm just gonna be me and do what I do, which is play ball and learn about the sport and learn the techniques behind it. Learn it inside and out enough to where I can now give and produce WNBA players.
Yeah. Yeah.
She gets all respect from me.
No doubt.
I gotta add one more. I'm sorry, Trey.
Right.
While we giving respect to WNBA players.
Yep.
Because I told you about this. I told you about this a couple of years ago. I have a newfound affinity for Sue Bird. I just do. That last championship they won a couple years ago, I just got an affinity for Sue Bird. I like Sue Bird, man. She go crazy. She go crazy.
Sue Bird. I don't have no problem
like
with
Sue Bird.
Yeah, she's one of the best.
I watched her. Yeah, I watched her in that series. They played Phoenix. That finals, I think it was.
I think it was Phoenix.
Yeah, and I was, man. I really liked the way she played that game. I think it was a game 6 or game 7 I watched that day. And I remember having to come on here after I was like talking bad about the WNBA. And I had to come back and apologize because that was but it was because I was thoroughly entertained. Thoroughly entertained, and so I had to jive back up off for the WNBA. I've backed up off for them since.
WNBA, if you watch a game, it's really some great fundamental basketball, and they're talented athletes. They just happen to be women. And I it's unfortunate. Going back to what Candace Parker said, that she said that the NBA players don't hate on the WNBA. She said most of the people that they hate on them don't even play basketball, didn't play basketball. It's men who didn't do those things. And you got these women, of all shapes and sizes who are, noticeably talented on the basketball court, and just want to be recognized as that. We're athletes at the end of the day. We're professional athletes at the end of the day. And so, what body part that we have that's different from yours shouldn't diminish the amount of respect that we get as athletes, because that's what we are. We're here playing a game as athletes, just like anybody else is doing their job. We've chosen and have been blessed with the opportunity to do this as a career. So to shit on me because my body part is different and to hate on me and say it's boring, then tell me why women's basketball in college is heavily fan-based. These are the same athletes. This is nothing different. The game is just up another level. So to see the disconnect and the hate between WNBA and women's college basketball is astounding to me, because this is not like we going and plucking professional players out of the air. These are the same kids who just grew up to play in the WNBA, just like the men. And so a lot of these, I'm always going to be an advocate for women's sports in general, because it's not harder, it's not easier to do it for a woman. It's not. None of these women who are doing these on a professional level have it easy. They all work their asses off. They all train their asses off. They all sacrifice their family, their opportunities, other things they could be doing, their bodies, just like men are. Even worse, because some of these women go into, have issues with their bodies where they can't have children. They can't do that when they thought they were going to be able to do that. So, I hate to see it. And that's why you have a lot of women who are so passionate about talking about women's sports, like myself. If I have a space where I can do it, I don't care if I get 2 views. That's 2 more than I had yesterday.
Respect. Hey, respect. We appreciate you coming on our platform to talking your talk too.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, thanks Mocha Bella for reminding us in a Facebook live chat. Hashtag free Brittany Griner. I just want to throw that out there.
I didn't forget. I was getting there.
I just want to throw that out there. But she was asking, what do we think about Brittany Griner? I guess as far as the whole Mount Rushmore to WNBA, but I don't think she's there. But she's definitely a great player.
She's in a great place. I don't think she's there. If they did they did the NBA top 50 or top 25, top 50, I would, I'd put Griner somewhere in my top 50.
Yeah.
But not,
for sure.
I don't know if she's a Mount Rushmore. And we should, if I come back, we should revisit that. Maybe after the season is over, we should revisit that conversation. The Mount Rushmore and the top 50.
Oh, the Mount Rushmore, yeah.
I agree with that.
And we can do top 25. We don't have to be 50.
I'm about to say maybe top 25.
25, because they just had a 25th year anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that makes more sense to do the top 25. Yeah. That's a great idea. Hey,
don't invite me to a good time.
You're welcome.
Your thoughts. Your thoughts on these playoff series: Boston, Miami, Dallas, and Golden State. What's your thoughts?
So I said I take Boston's going to win a series. I don't want them to win, but it doesn't matter because Golden State's going to win the whole thing. Nobody's beating Golden
That's
State.
what I've been saying.
Not who I see playing right now. Is there another team that I ain't seen them?
Yeah,
because I don't see another team that's going to beat Golden State right now. And trust me, I'm not a Golden State fan.
Me neither.
But I'm not a hater either. I recognize that they have talent and they consistently have talent because organizations win championships. And that organization knows how to put pieces together to win championships. Will they have off years? Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Didn't the Lakers have off years? Didn't the
Right.
Celtics when they reigned had off years? Didn't even the six or seven ring championship Bulls had off years? So they're going to have off years, but I don't see anybody beating them right now. I think the only team that I thought could have beat them was the Milwaukee team from last year.
Yeah. And not that I care for this team either, but Miami does have a culture in terms of being an organization as well.
Absolutely. And so this is why, Mocha Bell, shout out to you, because I didn't know nothing about Miami basketball this year. I'm going to be honest, until they made the playoffs, it wasn't that many teams in the East that was decent enough to make the playoffs. So when they made it, I didn't really think much about it. It wasn't until I found out they was in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I was like, damn, Miami playing like that? And I started paying attention because I wasn't.
I mean, look, man, they definitely they kind of like a quiet team though. Like I
was gonna say they're a sleeper team.
Yeah, right. I mean, and it's crazy saying that because they was a number one seed, but it's just like, who's the guy? And no disrespect to Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler don't necessarily do it the flashy way, so it's easy to kind of forget about him.
I don't forget about Jimmy Butler, but I don't see him as a powerhouse that stand out. Even though he is clearly the leader on the team, I don't see him as that. He's kind of like that quiet leader that don't really say much, plays consistently well. Is probably a leader in the locker room. He just has that personality where the rest of them are very much, you're talking about LeBron,
Yeah.
But you know what that team kind of reminds me of, if they're not that already? They kind of remind me of like the early to mid 2000 Detroit Pistons with
Pistons. I knew you was about to say that.
Rip and like that. That's kind of what they.
Yeah, they're underrated. They're under.
Yeah, like identity wise,
they go under the radar. They fly under the radar until they became the bad boys, and then they were on everybody's radar. But even Miami kind of skated through this whole season, kind of like everybody's kind of like, oh, we play in Miami.
Right.
Well, and look who they drew in the playoffs. They drew the Hawks. I mean, it's easy to defend Trey Young when he's only 5, or if he's 6 feet. And then
the only reason why Atlanta at this point, Atlanta don't have a professional team to actually participate in a professional organization activities. They have it as a social event. Those cities have teams purely to sell tickets for social events. Because I don't know if y'all have ever been to a Hawks game or a Falcons game, but ain't no city like Atlanta when it comes to going to those games. They don't care what their professional organization is doing. They might be a little bit mad, but they're going to see who they're going to be seen and see others. That's what they go to those games
for.
I think their organization, by the decisions they make over the last couple of years, I think they just kind of accept that we the party. We the party team. People come and watch us.
Yep.
We just got to be competitive enough to be able to justify taking y'all tax money for these stadiums.
Yeah, listen.
You know what I'm saying?
I was at a Knicks game when they played the Hawks a few years ago, and it was just straight up Knicks fans taking over the building. So I get exactly where you're coming from with that.
Oh.
Well, good thing they got Trey Young, because Trey Young is definitely going to bring the stars out, because he's going to show out. If you give him an opportunity, he's going to show out. So.
Well, as far as this series go, I see Boston taking it. Although I don't count Miami out at this point, I can't count them out. They've proven that they got something that nobody else knew about with them. So but I do pick Boston. I'm not a Boston Celtics fan, although my father-in-law played for them at one point. I'm not a Celtics fan.
Neither am I.
Nope.
But
I don't like Boston teams. Period.
You don't like none of them?
I don't like Boston teams. Period. I'm a New Yorker. I don't
like the Patriots. I don't like the Celtics.
I don't like the Red Sox.
I guess I don't have nothing against the Red Sox. I don't got nothing against them.
I don't like none of them at all.
I like more players for those teams than I do like the individual teams. I really don't pay attention to Boston. Other than the Patriots that's in our division and Celtics when they're competitive. I don't really pay much attention to none of those teams in the North, to be honest with you. I don't mess with none of y'all. From Pittsburgh to New York. I really don't care about none of y'all. Y'all motherfuckers don't do nothing. So I'm cool on y'all.
Here's the problem I have with the series right now with Boston and Miami is that every game somebody's out. Marcus Smart was out the previous game, and Jimmy Butler missed the game. Tyler Hero missed a game, the other night. So it seems like every game there's a player that's out that kind of shifts the way the game is going to go. So at this point, whoever comes out of here, to me, is going to be too beat up to go up against Golden State.
Well, they don't care. They just want to be the one to go up against Golden State.
To go against,
they
right.
know. But let me tell you something. Both of those teams know that they're not going to beat Golden State. If you tell me that Boston believes they can beat Golden State the way they're playing against Miami.
Yeah.
I think one of them could take them to 7. I think one of them could take them to 7 games.
Who?
Both of them. Both of them.
Nah.
Healthy. 7?
Healthy?
It won't
Both of them
be a
healthy?
sweep. It won't be a sweep this year. But it ain't going 7.
I don't think it's going 7, Trey.
It ain't going 7.
Yeah, I don't think it's going 7, Trey.
Golden State hasn't necessarily been lighting it on fire these playoffs now.
But it's so many. It's experience is one.
Sure.
Two. It's like, look, man. Say what you want about Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson isn't who he used to be defensively. Granted, he's still good enough to stand in front of your top guy. Now he's not going to stop him from scoring. He's not going to stop him from scoring. He can stop them from scoring 40, but he might not be able to stop them from scoring 30. Like he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you can keep the star per se in check. And then that's considering that Klay Thompson ain't even the primary defender no more. So now, how you going? If Klay can decide to cut on when he want. Now you still talking about the young boy. Poole can cut on when he want cut on, and then and like say what you want about Wardell, say what you want about him, and you'd probably be right about him. But when he on, and it's just not many that could stop him if you're gonna still consider the other pieces of the team.
Yeah,
It's too much.
Here's what I think. I think that series ends quick. Whoever it's between Boston, Miami, I think that series ends quick if you can get me a consistent Andrew Wiggins the way he's been going. Jordan Poole. Like if those two guys can bring it every night consistently, along with what Klay and Steph can give you, then I could see that series, ending in 5.
Y'all always talk. Why do y'all do that? Always
that?
Talking ifs. If somebody can do nothing. I don't see.
You don't think that's an X factor? You don't think Wiggins is an X factor?
That's an if. I don't believe in ifs.
Oh, talk your shit.
Has he consistently brought the X factor? He just gonna grab the X factor.
But isn't that the point of an X factor?
Wouldn't you have the X factor in the first 2 games you lost? I'm just saying. I don't go by ifs. Either you got it or you don't. And I don't see him all of a sudden sparking and having it.
But Tiff, that's the point of an X factor, though.
Not him. No, I don't think he's an X factor.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
I love this you be doing right here when you be talking your sports shit. That's that fly shit right there, Sean.
Just make sure you don't look at me, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
My thing is, the reason why I don't like to go with ifs, because a lot of the what's that word that Ninja uses to talk about mainstream sports media? He has a word.
Love to know.
Shout out to that Ninja.
Yeah, it's a word that he uses, but mainstream sports media has ingrained y'all to think of the game of what
colonizer tactics. Is that the word?
It's something else.
Okay.
It's a word he calls it. But it makes y'all think that these ifs are devoid of history or facts. Mm-hmm. If this thing happened, then this might happen. If this, the conversations in the locker room are not saying if this person can get hot. They literally not making no strategy on if somebody can get hot.
Right.
Their game plan is, this is what this person did in this video. Watch the previous series. This is what they did. This is what they have a history of doing. We've seen this before. You've seen this from him. They go by what they see, what they experience. These ifs I mean, of course, if that happens, but what if Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, what if Klay Thompson steps up defensively and becomes defensive player of the Eastern Conference Final champion or whatever. But those are all these ifs could happen, but what do we know has happened? What have we seen happen? And
Wardell.
Base your opinion on that.
Okay.
Because you can throw a million ifs in there and
we've
change
seen
everything.
Andrew Wiggins have some good games.
What game? Name one game that was an impactful game in which he had a good game. Don't tell me it was a game against Atlanta Hawks, for example.
Well, look.
I'll say this because he's not in my equation. Wiggins, even though he went crazy the other day, because he had like 22 the other when he yammed on Luka.
Yeah, something like that.
So he did his part. I ain't gonna say he went crazy. He did his part in that game.
And he plays defense.
But he's not a part of my.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially considering. But to my point, I got the Warriors because Wardell Curry is Wardell Curry, and Klay Thompson is Klay Thompson. And at the end of the day, if you ask me to hang my hat on either that or the likes of Tatum or Jaylen Brown, I'm gonna take the Warriors. If you ask me pick your two in Miami, I'm still gonna take the Warriors over that. So,
so it's really about. I mean, either one of them can go and play Golden State. I personally don't think anybody can beat Golden State right now. They play consistently good basketball, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I can throw 100. I can throw 100 other ifs.
Variables.
There. Yeah. Would it even be go? What if Dallas made a miraculous comeback and Golden State didn't make the championship? Like, we could go back to that, but why?
Oh, I mean, because we know Dallas ain't coming back from 3-0.
But that's what I'm
how
saying.
we know that? How we know that?
How do we know that?
How we know that?
Man,
how do we know that?
I put money
how do you
right
know
now.
How do you know there ain't no if in Dallas?
I put money right now. Dallas ain't coming back.
I just want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Based upon what you just said, have we ever seen a team come back from 3 down and go on to the next level, to the championship?
In the NBA, no. In the NBA, no. We never seen that. So why do I think all of a sudden the Mavericks, who keep hitting bricks, gonna pull it off?
But don't we see stuff we ain't never seen all the time?
Of course we do. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
In order for that to be a first, you have to do it, right? So it could happen. So, but you're proving my point. Let's not talk about ifs. We talk about what we know, and just like Dallas ain't. This is matter of fact. No, they 3-0. They can't nobody. Just like all that, we know when Miami or Boston, you can pick a red uniform or you can pick a green uniform. Whoever uniform you pick, we pick Golden State to beat them.
Well, I agree with you. So I like the way you digging in this shit. I like the way you digging in this shit because I agree with you. I don't think it's going. I don't think it's going. It might go 6 games, maybe.
It's going 7.
Maybe it's not going 7. That's all I said.
7. It's going.
I didn't
7.
say I didn't say it wasn't going 6. I just said it wasn't going 7.
No, that's fine.
Shout out.
You mentioned all those injuries and you think they're going 6 or they going 7. Man, come on.
Look, shout out.
Do you remember do you got a replay button? Because he just said they got both have injuries. How they gonna survive Golden State? Didn't you just say that? Like, what time?
I mean, there's still a defensive element to this game now. Let me give a shout out.
But you're not going 7 games if you already admitting that you behind the 8 ball injury wise.
The Celtics and the Heat are going to be beat up, is what he said.
Yeah, no, I get what I said. Said, but that don't mean that they can't be, get healthy by the time the finals start.
You're right. If
you know what I'm saying?
Everybody gets
it's
healthy,
ifs, right? It goes back to it's full circle. It's ifs.
That's for you. It goes back to that for you. I'm just adding on your ifs. Again, I'm identifying your ifs.
Yeah, sure.
But we all agree. We definitely all agree that the let me say that
Warriors gonna win.
Well, no, are they getting swept? Is the question.
No, I don't think it's gonna be a sweep.
You don't think so?
Who?
Trey, what you think?
Who?
Do the Mavs get swept? Do the Mavs get swept? Do the Mavs get swept?
Yeah, they get swept.
Mavs get swept?
Yeah.
Nobody thinks Luka can get him one in Dallas.
Luka been dropping 30, 40 points, and they still be losing.
He had 40 and 10 last game.
It's not about Luka. It's about them others. Like them others gotta, what's his name went
You forgot
for 10.
You don't believe in Dinwiddie no more?
Well, I'm not talking about Dinwiddie. I'm talking about Reggie Bullock going 0 for 10.
Y'all over here arguing about ifs.
But that's not an if.
Dallas gonna win a game? No.
Ifs. I don't know. I think Luka gets some game 4. That's what I think.
Yeah. Somebody got to somebody got to join the party with Luka. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
He's gonna get you 40. He's gonna get you 40.
Luka ain't no LeBron James in Cleveland. This ain't LeBron James in Cleveland. Like they got somebody going to do something, and I don't see nobody doing nothing. Them boys already planning their vacation. Trust and believe. They already got their hotel, Airbnb booked.
I know who
they
to
going
tweet.
to, trying to secure tickets to these shows that's happening the next couple of weeks for Memorial Day weekend.
I know your Twitter handle, Tiff. I know your Twitter handle.
I'm just.
Tiff, I think.
Let me shut up.
Hey,
right.
Tiff.
So I worked on my list. Y'all gotta let me do this. I don't know how much longer we got in the show, but you gotta let me do this. I worked on my list of my top 5.
Oh yeah? Well, we can go straight to your list then.
Yeah, let's do it.
My top 5 Pacers of all time. So for listeners, my father-in-law played for UC Bearcats. He also played for the Indiana Pacers, and he played for the Celtics. And so his Pacer team and his Pacer family is is reason why I'm a Pacer fan, because they honor him and his teammates all the time.
Shout out to him. Yep.
Yeah, his name's Tom Thacker. And so I became an Indiana fan. I live in Cincinnati. We don't have an NBA team. So you pick Chicago or
and Indianapolis is the closest city to Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half away. So easy can go to a game. And so it was just easy for me to naturally, since I'm around that team a lot, just gravitate towards the Pacer organization.
Yeah.
Although when I was a child, I was a Bulls fan because my family lived in Chicago and they used to give us Bulls attire all the time. And we loved Michael Jordan. Like, who didn't?
Who doesn't? Yeah.
Who didn't love Michael Jordan? So, but yeah. So I came up with a list with my top 5. And some of these names, 3 of these names, I don't think any of y'all going to know.
I can't wait to hear
it. I respect it. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to start with 5.
Okay.
So number 5.
This is ranked. Hold on. Before you go, this is ranked?
This is ranked.
Respect.
Hey, first of all, let me just say this. This little girl said she don't know nothing about basketball. My reasons for having my top 5 this is why it's my list.
It's your list.
I just damn right. You damn right.
It may not be in your list, but it's my list.
And that don't mean we're not going to pick it apart either.
No. So you can pick it apart all you want to. It's still going to be my list. I just want to make sure we're clear on that.
Respect.
No
and
doubt.
they're for different reasons. But my number 5 is Reggie Miller.
Interesting.
I mean, I'm not from it. Look.
Interesting.
I'm a Reggie Miller fan. Like I used to want to.
I hated Reggie Miller as a Knicks fan.
Oh yeah, you from New York. Oh yeah. I know why. Because y'all should talk shit, and he gave that shit back to y'all in that game.
He did. But we got him up out of there a few times, so it's all good. It's all love.
So that's number 5. My 4, and here's where the names I'm gonna test y'all Pacer knowledge or NBA legend knowledge. Is George McGinnis.
I'm familiar with George McGinnis.
Name is familiar. Yep.
Okay. Number 3 is Mel Daniels.
I don't know who Mel Daniels is. That's
not familiar with Mel Daniels. And by the way, going back to your number 4.
Hold on, I'm about to say bust down Mel Daniels for me.
I want you to look him up and holler at me later.
Respect.
You'll
Respect.
See.
And I was gonna say, going back to your number 4, Tiff, McGinnis also was on the Sixers in '83 when they won a championship, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
All right. My number 2, and this is really going way back, is Roger Brown.
Don't know him.
Roger Brown is known as if you talk to Dr. J and he talked about the greatest ABA players of all time, he's gonna tell you it's Roger Brown.
Okay.
Enough said. And mind you, Dr. J was the star of the ABA at that time.
Yeah,
so
right.
Him saying that it's Roger Brown.
Well, let me tell you something. You definitely a Pacer fan.
And that's right. I just remembered that the Pacers used to be in the ABA before they merged.
You definitely a Pacer fan.
Just remember that. Yep.
See, I know my shit.
Yeah, right.
Damn right.
I talk like this because I can back it up. That's what it says on my Instagram. And
Yeah, I saw that on your website. I saw that.
Yeah.
I peeped game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a person. When I say I'm a fan, it means I'm a student of all sports. Track and field is just the one that has, snatched my heart out my chest, threw it on the ground, and then picked it back up and put it back in. But I played basketball. I played volleyball. We could talk about volleyball. We could talk about soccer. There's a number of sports.
All you be doing is schooling us. All you be doing is schooling us.
Yeah, for real. And I'm just doing the soccer.
But I love sports. So that goes back to my number one. That's obvious because of family. Reggie Miller would be my number one. But I put my godfather at number one because of one unique reason. He is the only player, you can look this up, who has an NCAA championship, an ABA championship, and an NBA championship.
Wow.
What's his name?
Thomas Thacker.
Okay.
Respect.
So that's why he's my number one. He would be my number 5, but I gotta put him number one because
nah, that's your list.
That's my
list. We gonna hold that.
We respect
now,
that.
I don't know what they're gonna say in the comments, but we'll add you every time something wild gets said.
Yeah, Mocha said in the chat, are we really talking the Indiana Pacers?
No. We're talking Hall of Famers. Which how many does Miami have of? Okay.
Well, hey, just to stay on Mocha's side, at least Mocha got rings, so.
The Pacers.
Oh.
Trey, and ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.
Right.
Look, I don't like the Heat, but they got the hardware, so.
I gave the Heat they props. Like, damn, she the one came for see.
She came for you, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Came for me.
Yeah.
We're talking just like we talk track and field, we talk Indiana basketball. This is what happens when you bring Sports and Heels on your show. She gonna talk her shit about she gonna touch everything that needs to be touched. And pause.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Hold on. Sports and Heels gonna talk about everything that needs to be talked about. She ain't touching nothing.
No doubt. One last time, Tiff, let everybody know where they can find you at on social media.
Okay, so I'm going to start with my bi-weekly. I am a co-host for Matic Mondays. You can go to Travel Matic on YouTube. You can hashtag Matic Mondays, and you'll find myself and Travel Matic giving you your remote lifestyle, some jobs. We talk about living and traveling abroad. We talk about, our passions and following your passions and creating the life you want for yourself. You can follow us there every other Monday at 7 p.m. We go live. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, and you can find me on Twitter. My handle is sports_n_heels. Always, you can find me at www.sportsandheels.com. Send me a DM. I'm welcome. You bring me on your show. Let's talk about track and field. Let's talk about football. Let's talk about basketball. If you just want a woman's perspective, bring me on. Let me talk my shit.
Hey.
Yo, you've been a breath of fresh air. You've been great. You've been great.
Nah, I like that aggressive nature, man. You almost made me slip and say something that would have got me killed out here in these streets.
Don't do that.
Nah, I don't want to get killed out here in the streets just talking trash. Because I don't really mean that. Yeah, I don't want no problems. So I like the fact that you almost brought it out of me. I promise you, if we wasn't on a live show right now, I definitely would have made that joke, and this would have really went left.
Yeah, you would have tried to make it go left.
Yeah,
I'd have turned you back
you would have
around.
had to edit some stuff
I'd have turned
out.
you back around. Make sure you was
That's
going
what's
right.
up. That's what's up, man. Shawty, Tiffney, we appreciate you, Shawty, man. We really do, man, because you know more about sports than I do.
Oh, that's the one
I
thing
just be
I
out here
learned
talking.
tonight.
I just be out here talking shit. You be out here in these sports streets. I just be out here. Look, barbershop, because half of us don't really know what the fuck we talking about. We just out here talking.
About. We suck at predictions, so we don't know a damn thing of what we talking about.
Yeah, I'm just, sports is something that brings me joy. I know it brings you guys joy in your individual way. So I appreciate you bringing me on with the opportunity to kind of share my joy, my knowledge, what I know, what I don't know, and basically just have a good time talking to this, like-minded individuals. Life is about these experiences and making sure we're connecting with each other. And I appreciate the opportunity to connect with you guys and connect with your audience. And, I hope y'all bring me back soon. Maybe after those world championships, hint, hint. I could talk about what I saw, what I experienced, and it'll
Oh
be
yeah.
football season
After the
then.
Ravens
So
win the Super Bowl this season,
yeah,
yeah, we bring you back.
Tuh.
We bring you back,
Tuh.
no doubt, no doubt.
Tuh.
right.
All right.
Hey, we appreciate you, Shaw. To be safe out here.
I will. Thanks, guys.
All right, no problem, Tiff. All right, y'all. That was Tiffney Sports and Heels joining us right here on the Barbershop Sports Talk podcast. That was great conversation, man. That was dope right there, man.
That wasn't no bullshit, dog. She definitely know more about sports than I do. I just be talking shit, between my Twitter handles and ESPN talking my shit. But hey, Shawty, yeah, she about that shit.
She on it.
She about her shit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm gonna just wrap it up, man. But I'm gonna just throw this out there, man. The Commanders look like they're going to Virginia, bro. It's just starting to look like that's what's happening. Man.
I know, and
it's sad.
I meant what I meant. You might as well change it to the Virginia Commanders. Just go ahead and make the change.
Yeah.
You might as well just go ahead and make the change.
Yeah. It's sad, bro.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Money talks. All right, y'all. That's it for the show. I want to send a special shout out to Tiffney Evans, aka Sports and Heels, for joining the show. Also to all y'all Facebook Live viewers out there in the chat. Appreciate y'all, everyone watching on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter Live. We appreciate it. Continue to follow us on those social media platforms. Click the like button on the Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. You can find us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. And if you got any questions, comments about the show, you want to be, talk some stuff, hit us up on the email at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So another week in the books, man, and
yes, sir.
Have a great week, man, and a great weekend, and we're gonna do this again next week, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, be safe out there.
Yep, you too, man. Y'all be safe out there. Have a good week. Peace.
Love.
Recording.